All right. Well, again, thank you for coming. I am Brenna McDonald. I am a graduate assistant this year, pursuing my master's degree in biomechanics. I am working with the Health and Wellness Department. My background is in exercise. That's what that CSCS is coming from. That just means I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist, for those of you I heard kind of asking. So I primarily focus on exercise, and this was kind of a nice little deviation from my normal studies to branch out and research a little bit. So today we're going to be discussing gratitude. First off, what is gratitude? Kind of the basic concept of it, and then how gratitude can benefit one's life and what the positives are of doing that. How do I actually practice gratitude? And then what are some ways or resources that you can start practicing gratitude? So to start off, I looked up a lot of definitions about gratitude, and this was kind of a concept that wasn't as familiar to me when I started researching this. I had done a strength consult with one of my advisors, and this was kind of an area that it looked like I needed some work on. So when I had the topic to choose, I just dove in and started looking at gratitude. But I liked all of these definitions, so I kind of got a few of them for you. First off, to start, I didn't see this one coming. It is a virtue. So virtues are qualities that support the inherent goodness that resides within each human being. Cicero, the philosopher, said that gratitude is the parent of all virtues, and that with gratitude, you're able to access the other virtues and embody those virtues. Another definition is it's a habit of the heart. It is an affirmation of goodness. We affirm that there are good things in the world and that we get benefits, we receive benefits from those good things. And then lastly, gratitude is the quality of being thankful and your readiness to show appreciation and return the kindness back into the world. It's kind of an all-around definition of gratitude. The biggest one that I like the most, it's not a passive response to something we've been given. Gratitude arises from paying attention, from being awake in the presence of everything that lives within and without us. And that was said by David White. So basically, one quote that I had read with this is that gratitude allows us to not only spectate our lives, but to participate in them. A lot of times it's easy to get caught up in routine of everyday lives, our schedule of Monday through Friday with the weekends, and to not really appreciate what's around us. And this is really what this topic's kind of opened my eyes to. So more of, if I'm walking to get to this presentation and I'm running late and I've had a stressful morning, most of us just walk through the campus and think, I have to get here, I'm running late, it's warm outside and I dressed for fall weather, this is the worst. We don't really stop and think, look at these beautiful leaves, look how nice it is outside, look how pretty this campus is. We don't take the time to be thankful a lot. We tend to just go into cruise control and kind of go on with our everyday mundane routine without appreciating what we have. So why is gratitude great? For exactly that reason. It allows us to live in the present and then enjoy and celebrate the present. So rather than just focusing on the stressors you have, on focusing on what to get to next, gratitude allows us to enjoy it more and to really participate in everything that you're a part of. Number two, it improves psychological health. So in doing so, in paying attention to the pretty leaves around you as you're walking on campus, in realizing how grateful you are that you have a meal, even though it might not be what you have a taste for that day. In any of these kind of aspects that we're just paying attention to more and participating in life, it can help improve our psychological health. And we'll kind of talk about that as we go too. One thing that I didn't see coming was that gratitude practice actually helps with depression. So this can not only help prevent episodes of depression for those of us that might not have had it before, but it can also reduce the frequency that it happens for those that do have depression in their lives. It said that gratitude leads to decreased resentment and decreased envy. So one speaker I heard talk on this said, it's hard to be jealous or envious of somebody while we're practicing gratitude. So while I'm saying, if I look at another coworker who had a really good promotion, maybe I didn't get a promotion, maybe it's just a separate occasion, but rather than, if I'm practicing gratitude, I will be happy for them that they got that promotion. I won't be focusing on the fact that I didn't, or that, my job's not going as well at the moment. Whatever the issue or the circumstance is, I'll be thinking, that's great. They worked really hard and they got that promotion. So gratitude, it's very hard to be envious of something when you're practicing that gratitude and you have that kind of lens on with how you're thinking. A third benefit to gratitude, it makes us more stress resilient. It's improved coping ability. This is really kind of why I chose to start researching gratitude for this project. I noticed that in general everyday life, I have a pretty good grasp on kind of appreciating what's around me, I thought. But when I really noticed I lacked gratitude the most was when I got stressed. If I had a lot of projects or deadlines coming up, if I had a lot of stuff on my plate, all of a sudden everything I had was the worst. And I was overwhelmed, and this isn't right, and I have so much to do, and how can they expect that? And everything's so hard. But in reality, I'm lucky to have the position I have. Not many people can go and get a higher education. I'm in graduate school right now. I'm lucky to have been admitted. I'm lucky to be here. I have a roof over my head. You don't focus on those things when you have a work deadline or you have a family stress or whatever you have coming on. We tend to kind of just throw that gratitude out the window and focus on that negative. So with this increased stress resilience, focusing on the positives a lot of times can help us deal with that stressor in a better way. And not only will I respond to that gratitude in a better way, but I'll be able to come back more quickly from negative things that occur in my life. So if I do have something that kind of gets me down, by practicing gratitude, I'll be able to recover and come back in a much faster way than maybe if I hadn't done that. This is one area that I have been practicing myself since I started focusing on this topic. And when I do get stressed, it was just midterms as a student, I noticed again, right where my mind went, down that drain, thinking about everything I had to do, thinking about how stressed I was. And it just kind of got me down. I was not happy. It was just a hard time. Anywhere I went, I was kind of snapping at people and it wasn't good. But when I started writing this project, coincidentally, in that week, I started kind of practicing gratitude more and being aware of that. And it actually did help me. And I felt a lot better for the second half of the week. So this is something there's some value to. Number 4, it strengthens relationships. So this can kind of come in many ways. I don't think it's one of those direct effects, but it kind of helps you as you are changing your mindset. You might find that once you implement this in your life, it's going to affect in ways that you didn't really see coming. So with the relationships that we have, there was a study actually done at the University of Kentucky in 2012, and they studied participants who ranked higher on gratitude scales. I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead of myself. They studied participants. They split them up into groups. And those of us that they found that were higher on the gratitude scale, they were more likely to appreciate other people's accomplishments. Again, like that work promotion that your coworker got, you were more likely to be happy for that rather than envious. Those that practiced gratitude were more forgiving, they were more outgoing, and they felt less lonely and isolated. Along with that, they found that people are more likely to engage in a friendship and continue pursuing a new friendship with you if you are one that practices gratitude. So that was kind of a big study that I saw. Another study that I had researched said that people that do practice gratitude experience more sensitivity and empathy towards others and decreased desire to seek revenge. So how many times is something your aunt, or your cousin, somebody kind of on the same playing field as you, that something good happens to them and not to you? We tend to right away jump to that and think, oh, I didn't get something like that, or oh, there she goes again, she's doing that, looking better on that side of the family. We tend to be kind of competitive in the society that we live in, and we don't really take that time to realize and say, she probably worked really hard for that. I'm really glad that she got that. Or, hey, if my coworker just got boosted, I'm in a great environment. That's going to push me to work harder. We don't have that lens when we do this. So this can really help your relationships, not only ones that you have, but also ones that you're trying to begin as new. Another gratitude benefit. This one I found very cool because my background is in exercise, but this can improve your physical health. So along with the depression benefits that it can have on your psychological health, people that practice gratitude are more likely to exercise. They reported less physical pain. They reported that they sleep better. This was a huge one. Where did my note go? They found that people that spend 15 minutes a day writing down in a gratitude journal or just writing what they were thankful for, they found that they slept better and longer. And I found multiple studies that did this. This is one of the practices I'll kind of talk about later as well that I've started implementing in my own life. Before I go to bed, you're already trying to calm down a little bit. So I keep a notebook by my nightstand, and I've started writing down what I'm thankful for. I have found that I haven't recorded it. I have no quantifiable data, but I do notice that I tend to sleep a little bit better. This might be because I kind of am winding down for the day a little bit more, but it also is a nice way to end my day. And then when I wake up, I'm not thinking, oh, it's the alarm, I have to get up and go to work. I'm a little bit more thankful for what I wrote down the last night. So it's something that I have found has kind of helped my own well-being. Back, I am going to have to ask if I can hold them till the end, if that's okay with you. Is something you can hang on to? Okay, I'm really sorry. For those of you that came in late, we are recording online. So not only were they more likely to exercise, they were more likely to have better sleep and increased sleep quality. Their emotions were better. But also patients with hypertension, they found a just decrease in their systolic blood pressure and other kind of health benefits as well. So again, kind of some indirect results from this, but as I start sleeping better, as I start exercising, as I start having a better overall psychological health, you'd be surprised the other things that can kind of come about that. So gratitude in itself will help other parts of your life that might include increases in your health. Another benefit, kind of overarching over the ones we've discussed, but this study showed that it increases the quality of your life. So in this study, 2 psychologists, they studied a group of 700 people. They placed these people into 3 groups. One group, they had record both positive and negative things of their life, just kind of a general journal at the end of the day. The second group, we talked about only negative things. They wrote down what annoyed them, what was bad about their day, I stepped in a puddle, anything like that they wrote down. And then the third group, they wrote what they were thankful for, any good thing that happened in the day, kind of just a regular gratitude journal. What they found is that the group that wrote the daily gratitude exercise, they resulted in higher reported levels of alertness, enthusiasm, determination, optimism, and energy. They were also less likely to experience depression and stress, were more likely to help others, exercise regularly again, and made greater progress towards achieving personal goals. So again, I attribute a lot of this to the mindset. If I kind of have that lens on, that I'm thinking and looking at my everyday life, I'm going to respond towards others differently and towards my own personal goals. So this study was huge to see. Other benefits too that we didn't talk about, kind of the optimism, alertness goes along with that energy, but I'm more likely to be present with that. Again, to that beginning example we had, as I'm walking around campus, I'm going to notice a lot more. So many times we're walking to work or we're walking to our next meeting and we don't even realize who we just passed because we're staring ahead thinking, I have to get this done, I didn't grocery shop, I have to get this ready for dinner, what am I going to wear, any of the stressors that you have. And we don't notice, maybe I passed somebody that I know. Maybe I could have smiled at that person. Look again, how nice it is outside. So alertness kind of keys into that as well, where we are participating more in our life. With the lower levels for this group as well, anxiety was a big one. A lot of people tend to experience anxiety lately, again, with that high stress, high competition, high pressure society that we're in, especially in the workplace. So practicing gratitude here might be able to help you with that if this is something you struggle with. So we've seen the benefits, a lot of good things to it, but how does one actually practice gratitude? There are a couple of ways that you can kind of help to fit into your life. The first one, this is the most common thing you will see if you were to search, how do I practice gratitude? It's the biggest thing, create a gratitude journal. Now this can happen, as little or as often as you'd like it to, although the studies that I did read said that it is how often we write in it makes it more beneficial. So if I write it in every day, as opposed to somebody that writes in it twice a week, I'm going to see a little bit higher of a level of benefit than that person that writes in it twice a week. But other than that, there are kind of not a lot of rules to this one. Find a piece of paper, find a notebook, write down what you're thankful for. You can just journal about your day and what you're thankful for in that. You can journal about something that didn't go well, but then have a positive twist on it and say, I didn't get this promotion, but now I'm excited to start working towards the next one. Whatever it is, this can be as personal as you want. You are the only one that sees it. So the goal is kind of to make it personal, write in it once a day if you can. Again, I think bedtime's great. You're usually not rushed to do things. You're trying to calm down your mind anyway, get away from screens, things like that. So it's a good way to kind of just last thing before you go to bed, write down those things you're thankful for and reflect back on all that you have before you go to bed. The next thing, this is along similar lines, but maybe some of us are kind of not as likely to keep a journal. We don't like that idea. This one can be more bullet point if that's kind of how you think, but it is an activity called 3 good things. So each day for at least 1 week, you're supposed to write down 3 things that went well for you that day, and then provide an explanation for why they went well. So why is the fact that your meeting with your boss went really well, why is that a good thing? What happened in it? Did they say that something you did was good? Did they provide an opportunity for you to do that you're excited about? Did they take something off your plate that maybe you were really stressed about? Whatever it is, kind of give some detail to that and think about why you're happy to have what you have. Again, this doesn't have to be work specific. Maybe you picked up your kid from school and he was really happy and he said something about something that went well. He made a new friend. He got a new grade. He didn't get in trouble and he normally does. Anything like that, you can kind of record and then say why you're happy about that and just document those emotions. This is kind of one of my favorites. So if you'll notice with the handouts, you do have one on that blue sheet. If you wouldn't mind, just take a minute or two and think about this right now. Again, shift off. I used work a lot, but I'd really like you guys to kind of just think your life in general. Personal life, work life, family life, whatever you want it to be. Go ahead and write down 3 things for me. All right, so kind of just a general survey. If you can, I'd like you to raise your hand if you found it difficult to write something down or to find 3 things. Okay, in general, we all have pretty good lives. We all feel pretty good about that. After a hard day, this might not be as easy. Again, when you have that stress filter on and you're looking at everything like it's a big problem, this might not be as easy of an activity. Again, when I had my big deadline week, I had a hard time seeing the good until I really focused on that. So one of these things, if you choose to do this every night or every day, if you are focusing on those negatives, try to find something good within that. So think, I'm really stressed. This is the most stressed I've ever been, and it's a lot that I'm dealing with. I probably took on too much, but I'm really thankful for this opportunity because it's making me better for the future, or this is going to make me stronger for the next position I'm in. Whatever it is, there's always a twist that you can kind of find on that. You know, maybe I got in a car accident, I almost got fired, I missed my meeting. Terrible day. Seems like there's no way to turn that around, but tomorrow's going to be better. And I still have a roof over my head and a job that I can go to. You know, whatever it is, kind of try to twist it like that and write what you are thankful for in the end. One last thing to go to too is with that, after you write those down, you want to pay attention to how that made you feel. How did it make you feel when you wrote down those things you might not have realized you were thankful for? Again, you can kind of just spectate this and write it down and then go to bed, or you can really sit there and think about how that made you feel, and the fact that you have those 3 good things to write down, what kind of emotion that brings up for you. All right, this one is going to get you out of your comfort zone a little bit more. It's a little bit less isolated to yourself, but it says to write a gratitude letter. So for this, I would pick a person in my life that I'm especially thankful for. I would write them a letter. Maybe it's my mom. She lives in another state right now. So I would write her up a letter, everything why I'm thankful for what she does. And then I would call her up and I would try and see if we can get together. If she lives far away and that's not going to work, I can try to do a video call, like a Skype call or something. And if absolute worst case scenario, we can just talk on the phone. But for our ideal situation, I'm going to try to have lunch with this person face to face, you know, have a meeting with them. When I meet with this person that I picked, I'm going to sit there and say, I wrote a gratitude letter for you. If possible, I would like for you to not interrupt me while I write this. I'd really like to get this out to you. I'll sit there then, kind of read through why I'm thankful for them, everything that I wrote. This is going to be a pretty personal thing. And then afterwards, they can kind of give you some feedback. There will most likely be some tears and hugs involved. You guys are going to bond a little bit. But they'll get to tell you how that made them feel hearing how somebody was thankful for you. Because just as it is nice to notice what you're thankful for, it is an awesome feeling to hear that someone else is thankful for you and thankful for something that you've done. So this is not only going to make you feel good and you appreciate that you have this person in your life, you're going to help them and have them realize that they've helped you without even noticing it. So while this can be a little bit uncomfortable to do at first, and you might be not sure how they're going to react to it, I really recommend this one because it really can strengthen a relationship for you. Another one along those lines, the mental subtraction method. So again, pick a person in your life and start to think about how you met. I have a good friend. We met here at school. I wasn't really sure about them at first. You're in a new environment. You're all thrown together. You don't really know if you're just bonding because you're together or, if you'll be friends later down the road. But as you go, you start to think about how you have bonded and all that they do for you. Now at this point, I want you to think about that person in your life and think about what if they weren't there? What if I never met this person on that first day of my job? Or what if I didn't meet this person when I went to my run club? Whatever it is, however you met that person, how would your life be affected there? Would this change something that you do normally? Would this change how you respond to stress? Is this the person that you call up when you're upset? Kind of imagine life without them. After this point, you then want to reinsert that person back in your life and realize how much of an impact they have on your life. And think, wow, if they weren't there, I would be so lost. This is the person I go to whenever I'm upset. Or wow, this person makes my life a lot of fun. They're always encouraging me to go to events. We're always doing things together. Without them, I might feel pretty lonely. This is going to kind of make you realize how important people are, maybe especially for family, because we tend to take family for granted a lot. And they're just always there. They have to love you. So you don't really tend to appreciate all that they do for you. This might be a good exercise for you to really realize the value of them in your life. And maybe this leads you to write a gratitude letter afterwards. If writing really isn't for you and you're not feeling the letter, there are gratitude apps for you. So some of these do have prices. They didn't show up for me, unfortunately, here. The top three, I know the two on the left, these are going to be for prices. I think the first one's 99 cents. This is all from memory, so don't quote me on it. And Happier, I remember, is $2.99. None of them were more than $3, so it is manageable if this is something you'd like to pursue. But they all can kind of offer something else to your life. So Gratitude Journal is just an electronic version of that gratitude journal that we had. You're just going to write down the things you're thankful for, kind of journal your life. With that, Happier is going to be a little bit more of the social network one for you. So this is a supportive community where you can post something and then people that you don't know that can't judge you or anything will write back and be like, wow, I did not realize that I am lucky that I have filtered water or that I have food constantly at my fingertips. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's a great job. Whatever it's going to be, you have some feedback with that and kind of maybe that'll help you to scroll through and see what someone else is thankful for, and you can realize, wow, I never realized that I'm lucky to have that. So if you are into social networking, that's a good one. Gratitude Rock, this one's a little bit more on kind of the Zen side of things. This one is going to give you your calming noises, so maybe you can play that as you sit there and write in your gratitude journal. This one has quotes of the day that will be more inspirational and encourage you to be with that gratitude lens. And then thoughts as well. It'll pop up little thoughts for you just to kind of keep you in that mindset of gratitude. My personal favorite on this list is the Gratitude Habit. This one there was a price for, again, no more than $3. But what this one offers is an interactive guide to happiness for you. The biggest thing I saw with this is that you can bring it in with the family. So for this one, they have interactive videos and they call it happiness workshops. So you could play this on an iPad or a screen or something with your family at your dinner table, and you could all participate in this happiness activity together. I wasn't able to see, details of exactly what these activities were, but the reviews on there were very good, and a lot of people really enjoyed kind of bridging this gratitude practice with others. So there are those interactive lessons, and then they have a happiness workshop as well that was part of that. It'll kind of just make you go through and just think about everything in your life a little bit differently. Finally, 1,000 Gifts. This again was just kind of another source of inspirational quotes, calming activities, little bit more of the just kind of little reminders. If you're having a down day, you can click on this and then get a little bit more inspiration to stay positive. This one is my personal favorite. Doesn't involve writing. It doesn't involve an app. You can do it together with somebody else or alone. Really recommend it alone though. So what this is dedicate some time for self-reflection. Maybe you're not much of a mover. This can just be sitting down in bed before you go to sleep and just sit there and kind of cognizantly think about what you're thankful for. I personally am a runner, and so for me, this is when I really clear my head. And I'll just go for a run, and I feel better moving. And what you do is you notice those things around you. So rather than running like I normally do and kind of focus on the stress, focus on everything that I used to running to clear out, I'm going to look more around what's around me. I'm going to notice the birds in the trees. I'm going to notice the sounds of the cars around me. I'm going to notice how pretty the park is on this particular day. Yes, it's warm outside and it doesn't feel like fall, but man, it's not freezing cold right now. I'm thankful that it's warm outside. Kind of going to think about life through that way, the way that we spectated, when we are walking to work or when we're driving to the store. I'm going to appreciate all of those things around me. So for a lot of people, this can just be kind of a walk outside. But really, whatever it is for you, if you just want to sit outside and kind of notice these sights and sounds as well. And then it did recommend, if you are one of the walkers or joggers that do this, to kind of switch up your routine every now and then too. So you don't get used to the same things and it's like, yep, there's the same tree I'm thankful for. Kind of mix it up and just notice all that's around you in that area. So this one's a big one, I think, because it is free. It's easy to do. Again, it can just be as you're walking to your car after work. Kind of take that time that you have and reflect back on things. Another one, with or without the apps that we have, you can choose to dedicate time to be thankful and share this practice with your family. So maybe at the dinner table. Maybe if you live away from your family, you can call them up and kind of have this discussion together. But basically, just because you choose to practice gratitude doesn't mean you have to do this alone. And you might be able to share those benefits with others. So sit down at dinner before you all eat and say, all right, everybody, what are you thankful for today? It'll be kind of hard at first, but it might spark some conversation. And maybe if you have a kid at that table, you learn something about them with that day and what went on in their life that you wouldn't have normally heard about because they wouldn't think to bring it up. So this can really bring everybody together and kind of help you learn more about each other's lives. A resource that we have available to you with health and wellness is to schedule a BeWell consult. So Amy, who's with us today, that you might hear in the questions later, she is one of our health coaches, and as well as Jackie. And basically, you can schedule a meeting with them, and they will help you kind of focus in on the value of your life, and they'll just have a discussion with you. So this is a resource you can choose to sign up for. The website is down there on the bottom. Pretty much if you just search UK Health and Wellness, it'll pop up there for you, and you should have an okay time finding it. If you don't, feel free to reach out to any of us if you are interested in this. These are the references that I went through as I was researching gratitude. And then kind of looking forward, the next Lunch and Learn presentation we will be holding will be by Ashley Miller on November 17th. She is going to be speaking about exercising at your desk, and that will be in University Health Services. So we do have this time then if there are any questions that you'd like to ask. Oh, thank you.